What's up, everybody? Today is Saturday, October 21st, 2023. I don't know why I'm pausing. As I was saying the date, I don't know, just thinking about the year 2023 for whatever reason. Yeah, 2023. It just seems like a future, like a way future date. I don't know. Sometimes it almost feels like yesterday that it was 2000, but that was 23 years ago. Anyhow, that's not anything about what this video is about. I mean, this video is about nothing. Just a vlog. Technically, I suppose this is car vlog number 2, or perhaps can consider this car vlog number 1. The last one, or the last couple ones where I was filming in the car, I was either driving or I was showing off the car. This is probably the first official one where it's just me, and it's just you, or you guys or girls, not driving or anything. I'm just sitting here in the car. So yeah, this is I would declare this the first official vlog in my new car, my old new car. So yeah, hello to you in 2023 and after. It's kind of funny that we're talking about the year. I was actually going to make a video one of these days, like addressing the future. Just, I don't know. I'm fascinated by the fact that you never know two things. You never know who's going to watch your video, or three things, I guess. You never know who's going to watch your video, how many people are going to watch your video, and when people are going to watch your video. I guess we could just talk kind of about this. So the who part, I mean, it could be anyone who watching your video. I mean, the more people who watch your videos, the more broad spectrum of individuals who are watching your video. So let's kind of go to extreme for a moment here. And let's say you get 1 million views on a video, regardless of what the video is about, but just whatever, general topic video, anything, cat video, doesn't matter, right? 1 million people watch your video. You got to think, I mean, it's not just, there's guys and girls. I mean, any kind of like job, there's going to be firefighters who watch your video, delivery drivers who watch your video, men and women, and, criminals and maybe religious people, atheist people, broad spectrum, right? Young people, old people, people from this country, that country, and maybe people, you got 1 million people watch your video. Maybe that's at least 1 or 2 from every country, people from Zimbabwe, or, I don't know what all countries have internet from, right? But people from the United States, from Canada, from Mexico, from Zimbabwe, or wherever they have internet from, there's going to be at least, if you have 1 million views on a video, there's going to be at least 1 or 2, almost from every country, if not more, right? So the who, you never know who's going to watch your video. Not to mention, it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be your boss, it could be, a girlfriend, wife, husband, anybody. It could be anybody. So that always intrigues me, that you never know who's going to watch your video. Like I said, you never know how many views. If you have, you could kind of get an idea how many people are going to watch your videos based on how many subscribers you have. But even so, you never know. Like, for example, I have 700 some odd subscribers. Okay. And so you could say, well, maybe 50 to 100 people might watch your video. True. But sometimes 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 people watch my video. You never know. One of my videos, even though I have only 700 subscribers, maybe 1 million people could watch it. You never know, right? And even on the other end of the spectrum, let's say you have 1 million subscribers. that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 1 million views. You could get maybe 10,000 views, or more than that. You could get 2, 3, 4, 5 million views. And so you never know the how many either. You never know who's watching your video. You never know the how many, like, precisely. Maybe you can get a ballpark if you upload enough videos and you kind of get an idea of how many people watch your videos. And then the when. I think the when people watch your videos is kind of the coolest unknown. So the vast majority of people who watch your videos, for the vast majority of videos, are probably going to be within a close duration from when you upload the video, regardless of who you are, how many subscribers you have, whatever. So again, me, 700 subscribers, say this video gets whatever, 50, 100 views, whatever it is. The vast majority of that, say 50 to 100, is going to be either today or tomorrow, maybe, within the next, say, week or so, maybe over the course of the next month. Over the course of the next month, it'd be like 99% of the views on this video, for the most part. Every now and again, YouTube will re-recommend a video that's like 10, 15 years old or something like that. And so it'll get a bump in views. But, overall, the vast majority of your views are going to be somewhat in this time frame. The time that you upload. So I upload this video in 2023 in, what month did I say this is in? We're in October. Most views are going to be in October. But however, like I said, that's the majority of time. There's always going to be stragglers on a video, especially if, you never know when YouTube or another website is going to recommend your video way down the line. For some reason, it becomes relevant again for whatever reason. And so the cool part comes when you start thinking, well, someone could be watching this video from, next month, a couple months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. And the further you go is the more fascinating to me, because I sit there and think about, I'm like, what if, someone's watching my videos for whatever reason, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years from now. There's ones that I've watched. There's this guy that I found. He was in the 1980s or maybe the early 1990s. Is this guy, he had this, one of those old big cameras, and he would vlog himself, like going to McDonald's and like walk around, like just doing just random stuff, like what vloggers do now, but it was like in the 1980s or 90s. And someone ended up uploading those old videos. I think he passed away now, whatever. Anyhow, someone ended up uploading those old videos from the 80s or 90s, currently. And so people are watching that now, past, this is what, 30, 40 years in the future, past when he's dead, and decades after he recorded them. And at the time, because say he recorded in 1989, I don't know when he recorded these videos, this guy, right? There was no World Wide Web or internet, YouTube, and all this kind of stuff, and so he had no idea, the guy who was recording at the time on his big old camcorder, that 30 years in the future, thousands or maybe millions of people are going to watch these videos that he's recording, and so my point in all this is, it's really crazy to me that you just, like I said, you never know of who in the future is going to find your videos, or even because, like, again, that guy recorded stuff and it was just sitting on on a cassette somewhere, and someone transferred it to the internet. I could have videos, say, on my phone that maybe I never uploaded for whatever reason. I didn't think it was good content, or I thought it was just stupid ramblings. I die, let's just say. Someone finds my phone and be like, say someone found my phone like 10 years later or whatever, or 20 years later, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to upload this stuff of this guy named Matt or whatever, And they do, and it gets thousands or millions of views, like I said, decades or maybe centuries in the future. So that the when people watch the videos that I upload is fascinating to me. I really think as a person, as a video uploader, a content creator, if I can be called that, I think all of us content creators, regardless how many subscribers you have. We all have it in our heads, like this assumption that like when we're talking to the camera and we're making the video, we have this like inner assumption that the people watching are the people in our time, because we talk about stuff. We're like, oh, you talk about the president, or you talk about, you know, things that are going on in our day to day. Well, that only makes sense to people who are around right now. You know, a lot of the stuff that people talk about, it's not going to be relevant maybe even a year from now, let alone 10 years, 20 or 50 years, you know. And so when we're talking to people, you know, like when I make videos about, you like me, you know, I tell, oh, I'm homeless, I don't have a job or whatever, you know, it's only relevant. All that's only relevant to people right now. Say someone's watching this 50 years from now, they're not going to care about me being homeless because I'm going to be dead. They're gonna be like, oh wow, that poor guy, you know. Say someone's watching this, what's 50 years from now? 2070, whatever, right? And I'm talking about, I'm homeless, I'm poor, you know, and you know, my son's disabled, and you know, the trials and tribulations that I'm going through. Someone in 2070, they might feel a little bit bad. There's nothing you can do, right? Whereas if someone's watching this now, I upload this today, like I said, today's, what did I say, October 21st, 2023. Someone's watching this now or tomorrow or the next day or whatever, like, oh, I feel bad, but you could potentially do something about it. Maybe, you know, give me a call if you know me, or, you know, if you want to donate to my, you know, my PayPal or whatever. These are all things you could do now. But again, if someone's watching this 50 years from now, 2070, or let's just say 2100 or whenever, you know, way in the decades in the future, there's nothing you can do. You're just watching history at that point, you know, not ancient history, but, you know, beyond what you can do. You're like, oh, wow, you know, this person is, you know, even if it's, like I said, 50 years from now, and you're like, oh, that person was 40 years old, and they're most likely dead now, or really old, and whatever. But there's nothing that you can do. They've moved on or whatever, especially if it's, say, 70 years in the future. Oh, this person is definitely dead. They're not around anymore. And so you're just watching it in a historical context. You're like, wow, this guy from 2023, he was going through it, and, you know, he was homeless, and he was locked up before, and, you know, he was locked up. Yeah, imagine if you're someone watching this video in, say, 2100, right? And you see my old video talking about that I got incarcerated. You know, I made videos about that, where I got locked up in 2000. I was incarcerated from 2000 to 2006. And you're watching this in 2100. You're like, wow, this person's talking about incarceration from 100 years ago. You know, that's fascinating. So to me now, alive, thinking about those, you know, potential people watching this in the future, that fascinates me, that someone could be watching this in, say, 2050, 2070, 2100, and looking back at my content, you know. So I do, so part of what I'm saying is, when I make videos, I kind of keep it in mind that not everyone who watches these videos is going to be from my present. It could be however long in the future. And so sometimes when I'm deciding what to make my content about, I have a conscious thought about that. I'm like, you know, I'll even mention it. You guys will hear it sometimes mentioned. I'll say, you know, oh, hey, if you're watching this in the future or whatever, you know, where I talk about things, I'm like, oh, what's homelessness going to be like in 2050? I think I made a video about that before. You know, I have a conscious awareness that someone may be watching this in 2050, and they may, you know, see this old video, and they want to be like, well, let's see how accurate this guy was. Let's see how close he got to predicting the future or something like that. So yeah, so I literally have a conscious awareness that people are not necessarily going to watch this video today, the day that I uploaded, or tomorrow, or the next day, or like I say, even this month or next month, or this year or next year. And so yeah, so the when is literally the most fascinating thing to me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyhow, yeah. But yeah, it's funny when you make a video. Um, if anyone's ever seen the movie, what's it called, Wolf of Wall Street, with Leonardo DiCaprio and forget that other famous guy. anyhow, there was a scene in that movie. Spoiler alert, in case anyone hasn't seen this movie. There's a scene where Leonardo DiCaprio and the other guy, oh man, I can't think of his name at this moment. When Leo was trying to go into the stock market or whatever, trying to be a whatever they call it, investor, whatever they call that, he's trying to get into the stock market, and he's talking to this other, older guy who's been in there. Man, I wish I could think of his name. Anyhow, they're at a little cafe, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character's talking to him, and the other character, he tells Leo, he says that the stock market is, he said it's a fugazi. I think it's an Italian word. It means fake. It's not real, right? And he explains, this other character explains that, he says, I'm paraphrasing here. The guy says, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or Jimmy Buffett. You never know if stocks are gonna go up or down or sideways or around in fucking circles. He continues, it's not on the elemental chart, it's a fugazi. He said it's fake. You just never know, right? Well, the same thing can be applied, the same concept or whatever can be applied to YouTube and views on YouTube. When you upload a video on YouTube, again, in the same vein as what that guy was saying, when you upload a video on YouTube, you never know if the views on video, I don't care if you're Mr. Beast or Mr. Potato Head, right? You don't know if the views are going to go up, down, sideways, or around in fucking circles. Really. I mean, you never know. Yeah, like I said, you might get an idea. Oh, I have this many subscribers. I should get this amount of views. You might be able to get a general idea, but you never know. It's like the stock market. It's a fugazi. The YouTube algorithm, it's a fugazi. It doesn't exist. It's, this thing in the computer somewhere and it has its own rationale of what it spits out or recommends or whatever. And regardless of what the algorithm says, you never know if someone's going to see the thumbnail and be like, or the title and be like, oh, I want to click on this, or I don't want to click on that. It's fugazi. So you never know. And so, the how many people watch video is also fascinating to me because it's such an unknown. It's such an unknown how many people are going to watch a video. It's wild to me, So the how many, the when, and what was the third thing that I said? How many, the when. Can't remember what the third thing. You guys know. You just rewind the video, right? Man, as I get older, I can't remember as good anymore. The when? How many people? Oh, whatever. You rewind the video. You figure it out. And you tell me. Oh my God, I'm old. I can't remember nothing. So anyhow, so the unknowns of, who and when and all that's going to watch your video, all that fascinates me. But yeah, especially the future thing. So anyhow, to anyone who's watching this in the future, hello, first and foremost. Yeah, especially if, when I get that thought in my head that someone could be watching this even like a year from now, let alone say 5 or even just 10 years, forget 50 years, 100 years. Imagine someone just watching this, just say not even 10 years, say 7 years or 6 and whatever, and say 2030. Even that, it's like, wow, someone watching this video from 2030, not too far in the future, enough to where hopefully I'm still alive, hopefully I'm not homeless, hopefully I'm doing better, etc., right? But yeah, just that thought of, that you could, I don't know when you are. That blows my mind. I don't know when you are. You know when I am. I mean, presuming I'm not lying, but I mean, YouTube says when the video is uploaded. So, you have kind of this video can't be any date after the video is uploaded. You know that for certain. But when before? I mean, you have to just take my word for it that this is indeed 2023, October 21st. But anyhow, so my point is, when I am, but I don't know when you are. That's wild to me. That's wild. I don't know when you are. I also don't know where you are. We're in 2023, and right now in 2023, virtually every human being is on Earth. A couple people on the International Space Station, right? But other than that, 10 or 20, however many people are up there, all the other billions of people on Earth, right? Also, if you're watching this in 2050, 2100, are some people watching this from a different planet or in another space station or somewhere else outside of Earth? So yeah, so I don't know where you're at, which does fascinate me. Even if regardless of when even if you watch this video right now, I don't know what country you're in or whatever. So that does fascinate me too, right? But the bigger thing of I don't know when you are. I don't know when you are. Are those words crazy? Wow. I don't know when you are. And you could tell me afterwards, or I could see, like, if you comment or something, like, say I upload this video today and tomorrow you comment, oh, hey, I'm right here, tomorrow, October 22nd. Okay, right? But I don't know unless you say something, or if I'm still alive or whatever. Again, if you watch this video, past my death or past when I'm watching it, I don't necessarily check up on all my old videos. I might miss a comment or something like that. So you might be watching this 5, 10 years from now, or however long in the future, and say you did make a comment, I might miss it over. So anyhow, but yeah, so I don't know when you are. So that's really fascinating to me, that I don't know when you are. The majority of you are going to be when around the time of when I'm uploading. The majority of you are going to be in the when time of 2023. But some of you could be when another year. Your when time. When are you? Yeah, could be. Who knows when? Who knows? I'm just saying. I'm even talking on short time frames, right? 50, 100 years, right? What really blows my mind is the thought of potentially someone seeing this 500 years, 1,000 years in advance. Once this is on the internet, I mean, I could delete or whatever, but once a video is on the internet, especially if a person, say doesn't have access to their account anymore, or if they do pass away, it's on the internet potentially forever. And so, what also fascinates me is, you know, wow, just the thought of it. But you really just don't know how long. Like I said, all these millions and billions and billions and trillions of videos that are being uploaded to YouTube, some or whatever site, TikTok and whatever else, some of those videos are gonna go the distance. Someone's gonna see some of these videos way in the future, 1,000 years from now. My point is, 1,000 years from now, let's just say 1,000 years from now, let's go crazy into the future, right? 1,000 years from now, some of these videos, some of these billions and trillions of videos that are being made, some of them are going to survive and be watched way in the future. Think about that. Think about that. Not mine necessarily, but especially some of these really popular YouTubers videos, or classic ones. They're going to be, videos are already being considered classic, like the first video on YouTube and stuff like that. And imagine that you could go right now watch the first video on YouTube, which is like 15, maybe almost 20 years old now, right? Of classics like that. Just like we read old documents that, like, say old presidents wrote or whatever, like 400 or 500 years ago, or we find old manuscripts or old like chiselings on walls from things that people wrote like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, that those things still survived from, some of them, still survived from thousands of years ago. I know I'm rambling, but this is interesting to me. I don't care if everybody's clicked off the video. This is fascinating to me. Think about that. Think about that. Thousands of years ago, people wrote stuff on walls or down on papers or whatever, right? And so thousands of years later, some of that stuff survived, and we're reading stuff, these papers or stuff chiseled on walls, whatever, that people did thousands of years ago, right? We're reading the thoughts or whatever of these people from thousands of years ago, right? And so now, one of the ways people post their thoughts, like I'm doing, is on videos. And I'm telling you, some of these videos are gonna last the long haul. Some of these videos are gonna be around 500 years, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years from now. maybe longer, 10,000, who knows how many years in the future. And think about that. Think about that. Someone, thousands of years in the future watching our videos from right now. Wow. That's... So yeah, the when, man, I love it. I know I'm rambling, but I don't care because it's so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating to me that someone could be watching this video or whatever video that we're making now in the 2000s or whatever, and that I could potentially be talking to someone that far into the future. That's wild. If someone's watching this video and way in the future, hello, man. Boy, I wish I could just get a glimpse of what your present is like. If you are from, say, 2100 or something like that, or further, 2200, 2500, the year 2500. Man, you're lucky. You're lucky. You get a glimpse of my present, but I don't know what your present is about. Wow. But hello to you in the future. Anyways, so I'm gonna go future, and the other fun fact, I'm gonna end this video on this. I'm gonna end this video on this fact. Regardless of when you watch this video, it will be in the future from me. I don't care when you watch this video. You can watch this video 1 second after I upload it. That is in my future. You are in relative respect to me in my timeline. You're in the future. I'm in the past, regardless of when you watch this video. Think about that. So, hello future. Whenever you watch this video, that's cool. That's really cool to me. Wow. Okay. Well, hello future. Whenever you are, and I'll see you later, and I'll see you next video. Thank you for watching.